Thank you to Onyx Core for sending me such a great product. Anyways, Yo Coot here, coming back at you with another exciting video. Today I'm going to talk about this Onyx Core rolling knife sharpener with 5 different angles. I guess it's their proprietary system. I've never seen anything like this before, and I just wanted to do a video about their product. Everything looks great. Good quality. You know, the roller has a nice weight to it. The block itself has really strong magnets in it. And also I like this piece right here on the bottom, this little piece of silicone here, so that it's anti-slip to keep this thing like, you know, as firm in place as it can be, I guess. And then you also get 4, not 2, but 4 different stones to kind of hone, polish, and also sharpen and grind down your knife to get it to the sharpness that you'd like it to be. So this video is just a quick unboxing to show you all what's in the box. On the next video after this one, I'm going to show you all how I sharpen one or probably all of these knives and how the system works. But right off the bat, when you open up the box, really nice of them to do this. They put in a pair of gloves that are cut level 5. So that's kind of nice. So while you're sharpening your knives, you know your hands are protected. Also, you can use these after the fact. If you want to cut vegetables or break down a brisket or whatever the case may be, it was really cool of the company to include these like cut resistant, you know, I should say that very carefully, cut resistant gloves. So that was kind of nice. Okay, next thing in the box is you do get a thank you card, which is pretty cool. It's just basically showing you, you know, thank you for purchasing this product, yada, yada. If you need help, just let us know. There's their logo right there, which is kind of cool. Then you also get an instruction guide, right, which I believe is in English and Spanish, but it basically shows you, you know, you have 400 grit, and then you have 1,000 grit, and then 3,000 grit, and et cetera, et cetera. It's just kind of showing you like what's in the kit. There's the roller, you know, after refining the 1,000 disc, it's basically giving you some quick instructions. And then the same thing, I believe that's in Spanish. So then when you flip this over on the back side, they're basically just giving you a little diagram of what's actually going to happen, right? And in the next video, I'll show you how we're all going to do this. But basically that's cool of them to give you like a picture as well to show you all how this system works. And then there's the front side of water. And then here's basically how you would basically change out the discs. Pretty simple, you know, screw them on, screw them off. Pretty simple, snug tight. You don't have to overly crank the disc or whatever. But here's one side. There's 1,000 grit with like a diamond surface, you know, to basically give you that honing or that sharpening. There's the 400 grit side. Right, and this is a little more aggressive, so this would be like the primary that I would use if I hadn't used if I hadn't sharpened a knife in a while, and I just want to get in there and basically just sharpen it. Then you would go to like the 1,000 after that to kind of just hone the edge, and then you've got 2 ceramic discs which are pretty snazzy as well. There's 1,000 right grit, and then here's a 3,000 grit. So you can see, and they all have covers and protective films and that kind of stuff. And also I thought it was really nice that the company also gave you like these protective covers, right? So you can, you know, keep your discs, right, from, you know, attaining or getting unnecessary damage or whatever when not in use or when you're just juggling them around. But everything fits back in the box, which is great. So your 2 extra honing stones would go in here. Your roller basically goes in there. And then this 5-sided, basically the heart of the system, these different angles basically goes in there. So when not in use, I would basically just package everything up, throw it into the pantry or whatever, and then whenever I need to sharpen a knife, I would break it out again and then just sharpen. You know, it's kind of like your teeth, right? As long as you clean your teeth often, you can reduce the labor that it takes to get your knives back to their sharpness. Same thing with your teeth. The more often you go to the dentist and get a cleaning, the less work the hygienist has to do to clean your teeth. So basically, you know, I would say maybe 1 every 5 or 10 uses of the knives, you know, just a quick pass, maybe 5 or 10 passes on each side of the knife edge should keep it sharp, you know, for until the next time you need to sharpen it. But if you use your knives for, let's say, 2 months every day, really, you know, you're chopping things, you're going into your wooden cutting board, you're doing whatever, and you don't sharpen them, you actually increase the risk of cutting yourself. That's when you have accidents. Is more people cut themselves on dull knives than they do on sharp knives. Ironically, it's true. So as long as you maintain your knives, you'll be good. But if you have a knife that hasn't been sharpened in a while, don't fear. It just basically means you're probably going to spend about a minute per side, like honing one side, sharpening one side, then doing the other side, sharpening that side, and then honing that side. a minute on each side, you should be at a very acceptable, if not perfect level of sharpness. And then just do your regular maintenance and you should be fine. So anyways, here's the rolling drum itself. To take the discs off, it's pretty simple. You just basically twist them off. What I would do is when you put one on, just basically snug it down, just so it's snug, but you don't have to overly tighten it or crank it down or whatever. Just make sure that it's snug on there. And then the heart of the system, which is basically the block, you have all these different angles. So 12 degree, 15 degree, 17 degree, 19 degree, and then 22 degree. The way that I would use these angles, this is just me personally, I think it's kind of up to personal preference of what you decide and what level of sharpness you would like. I would use the higher angles, say like the 22, for like a chef knife, something that's going to be a workhorse in the kitchen, something that's going to be like cutting most of the vegetables, basically doing a lot of the chopping onions on a wooden board, bamboo board, that kind of vibe. And then the less angle that you go, right, the sharper the angle becomes on the knife. Something like, a 19 or even a 17 or even a 15, I would say that would be more of like your fine work. Like if you're going to go in there and start doing sushi, or you're going to start doing some really fine chopping where you need a more delicate, sharper angle. That's where I would use that. And then the very last one for me is like a carving knife, where you really need clean cuts. Like you're slicing up a turkey, a holiday turkey. It's that time of the year. There's the chestnuts. Just saying, Thanksgiving's coming up here in the United States. But that's where I would use something like maybe that sharper angle, like a 17 or a 15, or even on a sushi knife or like a garnishing knife, right? Like if you're going to be making creative food creations where you're turning a radish into a rose or something, that's where you might want to opt for the 17 or the 15. That's just me. That's how I would use these different angles. But if you stay tuned, the video right after this one, I'll show everybody how we do at least one of the knives, maybe all of them, and stay tuned for that video. So with that being said, there are links down below in the description. Personally, of all of these that I've tested, right, without testing the actual, the absolute highest and most expensive one that there is out there, I would say for highest quality and lowest affordable price, meeting somewhere in the middle, I'd honestly say this is truly like the best bang for the buck. Like, in my honest opinion, I think the quality's there, right? These feel like they're going to be rugged, solid, durable, at least long lasting sharpening stones. And then in terms of the ceramics themselves, like I peeled back the protective coating and this feels like it's going to last a while. So in terms of durability, quality, like I said, highest quality at the lowest, most affordable price. I'd honestly say right now, this is my choice for the best bang for the buck. So kudos to this company, Onyx Core, for making such a cool, great product. With that being said, links are down below in the description. I'll put some other links down there as well. Also, the links will be in the comment section, so make sure to check those out. But it's great of this company that they included cut-resistant gloves so you don't cut yourself while you're sharpening, at least hopefully not. You've got the roller, you've got the block, you've got 2 extra discs, right? The 2 ceramic honing disc, which I'll show you all in the next video how to use all that. And then here you've got your actual sharpening or grinding. There's 2 stones there. So 4 stones, 1 roller or drum, 1 block of angles, right? You've got the 5 angles, which really is a nice little thing because it's all in one place, right? It's all about convenience. Also, you've got this nice little anti-slip thing here. So if you peel back this protective piece of plastic here, you've got silicone there, which helps to prevent this from slipping as you're sharpening your knife and honing your knife, which is cool too. And then you've also got the instruction guide, right? The instruction guide was kind of cool too. So it basically shows you all like how to change out the discs, right? You've got your picture here that shows you all how to use it. So it's pretty intuitive, pretty user-friendly. This kit, in my opinion, takes the guesswork out of, having to use like the old school traditional, where am I at? The old school traditional like honing, sharpening steel or rod, that kind of stuff. So it takes the guesswork out of that. More user-friendly, I'd say, more intuitive to kind of use, a very simple system. So you kind of get all that going. And it's in Spanish too, in case you needed to know how to do that in Spanish. But anyways, with that being said, I'm the Old Coot, and I'll catch you all in the next exciting video. So stay tuned for the next video, and we'll show you all how to use the system.